I think that's going to make the difference. But we are now live with the pistol round here. Second map of this best of 3 between Team Orbit and Cloud9. Team Orbit currently in the lead with 1 map to their name. And starting off on the CT side, Pyth, man, he just gets obliterated.
Same tactic again, isn't it, from Cloud9, giving Shroud the Tech 9 and just saying, go, 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 unleash him. And so far, so good for them. Nothing picks up the second. Both of those frags were on A side. So they may try and push through. And actually playing this one slowly, trying to bait out the rotation from Team Orbit. 2 players have moved over from Arches and B, respectively. They still have the one in Banana, which will be Jumpy. Sean Gez is just lurking around that area, and Cloud9 really playing every second of this round. They may have even thought, after getting the 2 entry frags, just rushing in on A, piling in. That probably wouldn't have paid off too well for them, though, considering there's 2 players there.
It's true. Like, the 2 players right now are holding Arch side, so about as close, as close as they can get to that B side without totally giving up A. The only problem is it's going to be very tough for them now to stop this kind of push coming through. I mean, straight out of apartments, Cloud9 basically pushing out the best place on this map possible for them. So Huiten is going to be the last man alive here for Orbit. Cloud9 looking pretty solid. Great headshot there by Huiten, but this is not going to be enough. He's going to get hunted down by Sean Gers in the end, and that is going to be the pistol for Cloud9. Basically off the back of Pyth peeking into second mid to get info. And I think that's pretty much what made the difference right there, because then Maxi runs around through second mid. Unfortunately, the timing was off from him. There was a lurker there for Cloud9, and he was caught with his knife out. So just 2 unfortunate frags means that Cloud9 will be able to pick up that pistol.
Yeah, I think it was Shroud that caught the first player, which was Pyth, and then Maxi got caught by Nothing. Nothing, there we go again, is going to be running through Banana. And we'll get the pick onto Jumpy. That's just going to leave the 1 player on B right now. Again, they're not pushing the envelope too hard. Better safe than sorry, probably in the back of their mind, because realizing that if P250s or 5.7s are on the opposite team, if you rush in and you're too reckless, you can get completely punished for that one. Even if you lose 1 or 2 players, suddenly that's 2 potentially assault rifles or SMGs in the opponent's hands, and then things go from bad to worse. There's Pyth, just as I was mentioning. Nothing knows, gonna get himself 3, 4 kills at the end, and another ace.
Yeah, another ace to start. Going into the third round, that's pretty good for Nothing. That's going to get him pumped, and that actually has to help get the rest of the team pumped, really, because it's like, you can't have a repeat performance. He's putting the rest of his team to shame right now, so Nothing leading the charge. Cloud9 now have to catch up, but that is how that second round was supposed to go right there. That was a very clean play there by Nothing.
I was a bit worried for them when Pyth got that frag with the 5.7, but
likewise.
In fairness, they recovered it very quickly. And it will be Team Orbit trying to battle against the odds once again. Cloud9 setting up into position, very identical setup. You see this time and time again from a lot of teams. You'll have a couple players in Banana, a couple players second mid, try and feel out the opposition and then commit to a site. But actually, Sean Gers going really deep into B, just pretty much waltzing in. He must realize that someone's going to be hiding at the back, and he has spotted Jumpy, so the information will be passed across to the rest of his team. Unbeknownst to him, though, there is one directly to his right-hand side in shadow as well. It's going to be Jumpy that gets dropped first from Sean Gers.
Maxi is still able to get a frag with that USP, and he could get another one here. Way too close. Sean Gers down to half HP based off of, that's USP shots. It's not like he had a P250 there. So Sean Gers now just on the hunt, looking to see if he can't find somebody else. Pyth waiting around that angle. Is going to get caught, and Huiten is going to get a second frag. Now, all of a sudden, things are looking pretty good here for Orbit.
Not too bad at all. Especially if he can get himself another frag, that would be icing on the cake. Unable to do so. But still pick themselves off 2 kills. That's going to be 2 drop weapons. And now Team Orbit are going to commit as expected. Maxi with the AWP. FAMAS on Pyth, couple of M4s thrown in the mix. There's a third for Huiten. And Team Orbit, this is their moment to strike. They have to start bouncing back from here.
Yeah, this is going to be it. I don't think they're going to be too perturbed about what has happened so far at the beginning of this half. It's like you give out the pistol, it didn't go your way in the second round. Third round, you actually did some damage. Now here's the big round. And they have that AWP for Maxi. But again, this is a very dangerous situation for Maxi. They're going to have to fall back. Anti-flashes are going to be crucial to slow him down, because Cloud9 could have gone rushing in to try and get that punish. But the nades have been forced out from Orbit, so they do manage to stop that in time.
The thing about Orbit as well is because sometimes they may have moments of randomness, they may try and play more into their aim duel mentality, they really can catch teams off guard, especially on CT. I've seen them do this a bunch. You'll have players that will actually go through onto second mid from apps and try and start snake round mid or even snake round T spawn side and get kills. So this is something in the back of Cloud9, bit of a derp nade there from Nothing. Just goes to show he's human after all.
Yeah, he does make mistakes. He's more of a Greek god in that case, I think. You know, they were very human as well. Who would we say? You know, is he Ares? I mean, we'll have to talk more about this. Make a thing out of it.
They could be channeling his inner Ares, I guess, on that last map, but unfortunately still lost the war regardless. But they got take 2 here on Inferno. 3-0 for Cloud9. They are a player down with 30 seconds to go, and it looks like it's going to be a B push. Smokes and flashes flying on in, a bunch of them. Molotov as well landing on top of Rogue. He's been flashed. He may not know that's on him. And there's Sean Gez with a pick. He will be dropped first. Semphis goes in, serves himself down. Roku's been momentarily silenced. That bomb's going to get planted. 3-on-3. This is going to be a tough one for Orbit to take back. However, they do have the weapons to do it. The thing is, are they actually going to want to try and push in? They need that pick desperately. If they get a pick in the next few seconds, they may think about committing to this one, but it's actually gone completely wrong for them. And Cloud9 stamp their foot down and make it 4-0. No save weapons from Orbit. That's going to sting.
Yeah, that's really harsh there. And that's a situation that can go either way, right? Because they decided to essentially take 3 duels, Orbit. They came in from 3 different angles, and it just so happened that Cloud9, they had one guy holding each of those angles. And this time around, Cloud9, they landed all the shots. Nothing hasn't even died yet. 9-2-0. But that was just a case of Cloud9 winning the duels. And if it comes down to it, if you're missing your shots, you know, you can have all the strategies in the world, but you need to hit the shots before anything can happen.
I'm curious how long it's going to take Pyth to start trying that tactic that I mentioned before, trying to feel out Cloud9, keep them on their tiptoes, not be too predictable on the CT side. Not this round, though. Shroud jumping into apartments, and Maxi is there to greet him, knocks him out.
Doesn't get to save the gun, though, unfortunately, so he's going to be a little bit sad about that.
Gun flew out the window as well, unfortunately for him, but still a kill is a kill. They'll be happy with that one. They stack 3 on B, and it's actually an A push here from Cloud9. Huyten's thinking about maybe moving back, but if Cloud9 strike right now, they should get onto this site pretty comfortably.
Now they're going to have that timing. There is a close man. I mean, Pyth has got that P250. He'll be holding a close angle as well on that site, so that could be rather dangerous here. Maxi in the pit, it looks like, or on Graveyard. But here we go. The push is going to come around this corner through Arch. Adjustment here from Pyth, trying to hold that angle close. He's counting on Maxi to just buy some time. Does not manage to turn in time. However, Shazam with that Tech 9 is going to jump on him, and Huyten now just trying to click away the remaining member on Arch.
Jumpy picks up that kill. The bomb has been planted. Team Orbit desperately trying to resurrect this round, but it's not going to happen just yet. Sean Gez bags himself yet another frag, and Jumpy with the AK, smart play for me. Going to be saving it. No need to rush in a 1v3. The bomb's pretty close to exploding anyway, so he's going to keep that and live to fight for another day. Yeah, that's a solid hold as well. Could allow them to spend, or at least save quite a bit of money in the next round. Jumpy, yeah, he's at 2,900 right now. I mean, they aren't super rich right now, but they are going to have enough to be able to buy full buy here in the next round, no problem at all on Team Orbit's side. And now we have to see what they're going to go for, because Maxi did get the entry frag on with the AWP in the 4th round. So curious to see if he's going to be able to manage that again and what Orbit would do behind that. Because for a second there, I thought that he was going to get picked off mid, and then he found a gap to work with and managed to get a pick. And you know, this is the kind of stuff that they have to build on right now, Orbit. But look at this. They're going for a B control play here from Orbit. I like this a lot. This is based off of Maxi, essentially. No smoke, but the Molotov, and he misses the shot, unfortunately. Does just narrowly miss that one. It does give the game away as well. They're going to know now that Norp is in Banana. They try and push aggressively onto A again. There's 3 players stacked on B from Team Orbit, and this is the best case scenario as well for Cloud9 thus far. They needed a good start, and that's exactly what's been coming their way. Huyten from Apps gets the upper hand onto Sean Gez, but he will be executed from Semphis for his troubles. And that is going to put a bit of a halter onto this A push from Cloud9. Looks like they may be having second thoughts about this one, moving back towards mid. There is a player in Banana waiting, and that's going to be Roke.
Not a bad play here from Cloud9, actually. I mean, they looked to see if they could catch a frag early on the A side, take advantage of the 3 players that would be over from B, or one man rotating over. Now they're looking to see if an over rotation was made. They managed to get through that smoke in time, but there it is, the 1-for-1 trade, and that's fitting. Question is, right now, they only have 35 seconds left to make this play, Cloud9, and the instant rotation came out from Orbit. Or are they deciding to go for another bluff, another play? They're going for another fake, but now they're just going to have so little time. If Pyth locks this down, it's going to be so difficult to get this plant in time.
We've seen him do crazier things today, that is for sure, but he is down to a very low 20 health. Flashes, grenades, smokes, everything. Trying to block off the approach from Maxi. He's looking at the wrong side of the site, now being planted from nothing while Shazam holds his back. The bomb has been planted, it's a 3-on-2. This isn't impossible from Cloud9, especially as they get the opening pick in this affair. On towards Jumpy, Pyth is very low, aforementioned 20 HP. This is really doable from Cloud9. They've picked up another one. This would be 6-0, and they've sealed the deal. That's a round Team Orbit have to win on CT.
Yeah, that's a round that you cannot afford to lose, especially with all of the different plays, the different fakes that were coming out from Cloud9. Go here, go there, you know, just trying to get the read. It was almost, you know, balance. They were seeking balance, right? You know, it's like, no, we want there to be a stack on one side. We're going to go the other way. Cloud9 just able to get onto that site. Pyth let that happen, but if you're going to let that happen, at that point you have to be able to take the fight and land the shots. And Orbit were not able to do it that time around, even with the man advantage. There's a great nade onto Sempus, though. The close spray, and it is going to be Rogue taking 2, so still a 3-on-3 there, but the bomb making its way through, and Orbit heard that. Orbit saw that. They got confirmation, and this bomb plant basically is going to be the trigger for them to start rotating over here, seeing if they can catch somebody out.
And they're running out of their lifelines as well here. They can't keep affording to try and say. They can't keep affording to keep the economy ticking over. At some point, you have to start getting rounds. It looks like they've given up on the approach from CT side towards Ruins, and they're actually going to go back towards A. So they're saying, yeah, we're going to keep these weapons. We've got an AWP, we've got an M4, we've got a FAMAS. That's good enough for us, but you're still 7-0 behind at this stage. That is brutal on CT. They won the knife. They wanted to go CT.
You know what, though? I'm not concerned. Because of what we saw in Cash, right?
True.
Clearly, both of these teams are feeling much more comfortable with their T side than their CT side. It was on Cash, same thing. It was almost like we've just flipped it around. All of a sudden, you're getting way more rounds than you should on your T side. And here on Inferno, it's more of the same. Although I would say that it's a bit more dire on Inferno. Like, it is a bit more of a heavy CT side map. So the fact that Cloud9 are sitting on 7, that is a little bit scary. But then Orbit as well, with the very quick plays, could potentially catch a Cloud9 off guard and get just as many rounds in the second half. So it's not over till it's over right here. A missed smoke though. Missed smoke coming in on that mid. That's good. That could potentially catch Cloud9 off guard.
Landed on the roof rather than blocking off from arches. Oh, Maxi will get the flick shot onto Sean Gares. He tried to have a cheeky peek. Again, this could be Team Orbit's moment to strike, to get their name on that tally, on that scoreboard. The scary thing is, though, that yes, Cash was so back and forth, but we're only 8 rounds into this one. This could easily, if Cloud9 keep going in this momentum, this could easily finish 10 rounds or even more to them. So that's another thing in the back of Orbit's mind. They desperately need to stabilize this. And the other scary thing is, round loss bonus. If they were to win this round and then lose again, sad times.
Catastrophe. That would be the outright, utter catastrophe. Maxi, it's about to get hot. Or did they not use the Molotov there?
I don't believe it was thrown.
Well then.
There we go. Has just been now onto arches. As we're speaking, Maxi was silenced there. So now Cloud9 with 30 seconds to go. They're putting their foot down on the accelerator and they are rushing into B. There's Hoyton, there's Jumpy, gets the second kill, looking for his third. He's hungry, but Shazam will take him out. There we go. Team Orbit do get their name finally on the score sheet. They lost 3 players, and as I said, if they lost this round now, Semler, really, really bad situation to be in. They desperately need to start getting that momentum back in their favor, as we saw in Cash.
And the bank as well. They need to get money saved up here. They only have 2,000 at most on 2 players. That is not enough for your CT side Inferno. You need to be able to have enough where you can buy up again or just constantly keep your team equipped. Even if it goes down to a 1v1 clutch situation, you need to have everybody with everything that they need the next round. So you cannot afford to give anything to Cloud9 at this point. And now look at this cheeky boost. Great play. They get out of it in time. There's nothing trying to punish. He does not manage to land that spray, however. And I'm amazed that Rogue even stays there to challenge that. I think that's actually a little greedy, a little risky there.
And maybe
because
confidence.
If you take a bullet to the face, I mean, now you just got your team that man advantage. If you take some random bullet through the smoke to the face, you just negated that advantage. You just gave it back to Cloud9. So I'm amazed that he still challenges that spray like that.
Maybe that's coming back to the point maybe before, a bit of lack of experience, maybe just getting taken away with the occasion. You know, we've won the first map, guys, feeling untouchable. Now, I would say that some of those feelings have probably been silenced somewhat of being 7-1 down on CT side, but yeah, they're going to have to stamp out those potential mistakes. He got lucky, got away with it this time. Maxi is low, and again, Cloud9 are congregating in apps. with mission, the goal to put... Oh, so unfortunate from Gfinity. He actually looked away and dropped at the wrong time. He had that spray down locked if he just stayed in position for one more second. I thought we were going to see another 2-in-1 shot there. It was actually both lined up in pit for the AWPer, but Maxi didn't pull the trigger in the end. And Orbit have pulled themselves into a 1v2. It's 15 seconds on the timer. Shroud has to go for this plant, and he's picked it up. Rogue's pushing through the smoke to his right-hand side. I thought just for a millisecond there that Shroud was going to pick it up, but not to be. And the defuse comes in, 2-7.
Nice plant there by Shroud. I mean, that's the important bit as well. He's still getting a little bit of money.
Yeah.
That was real touch and go there. A lot of that actually came off of Shazam getting 2 kills out of pit. Just, you saw it, you noticed it, right? The timing where all of a sudden he turns away just as they come rushing out of apartments. But then the quick frags coming in from Cloud9, managing to kill the man in pit very quickly. And then Shazam starting to take picks off of Long. That's what allowed that to even get to the point where it was possible to get a plan. So just these quick plays coming out from Cloud9. Really, I want to see more aggressive plays from Cloud9. They can really try and catch Team Orbit off guard because they have more than enough rounds already in this first half to feel confident, to feel comfortable. Now is when you start throwing in the curveballs. Now is when you just try and do fights like this. Yes, okay, this time it didn't work, but they are trying to put a little bit more pressure on Orbit. Keep that pressure up.
Yeah, and it keeps Orbit guessing as well. If you're mixing things up, you stop being predictable, and then Orbit have to start changing their play styles to accommodate that. So, yeah, I'm in full agreement with you. Cloud9 throwing a spanner in the works there. Fair enough, it didn't work out this time, but going forward, maybe this is going to set up a round in the future that they then pick up as a result. So, and this round isn't over just yet. There's still 55 seconds to play with. We've seen Cloud9 pull off these clutches. They still have nothing. They still have Shroud. They still have Semphis. This is doable. Maxi, I feel on Cash, you probably would have landed that shot. A bit unfortunate for him.
Not this time, but I guess the most important thing is, he's still alive.
Yeah, and info as well. But they're going to be pushing on to B. Jumpy up on coils. Try and mitigate that smoke. This time does get rewarded for that. There's Maxi with a nice flick shot onto nothing. Final player remaining is Semphis, not for too long. And that's what we're talking about. Team Orbit need to win, and they need to win without losing players. That's what they've just done. So their bank is starting to build up now.
Yeah, exactly. It's starting to develop a little bit. They're getting to that comfort zone. I mean, Rogue, that's where you want your players to start getting to, the 4,000, 5,000 mark, because then, with loss, you take the lost money on top of that, and you're going to be able to get a pretty healthy buy, right? So they've just reached that point where they have a little bit of a cushion to play with. Now we have Cloud9, and this is, these are some of the plays they can go for. Okay, we started to lose some rounds in a row here, so we're starting to get some bonus money. We'll just even things out with Tech-9s, and who knows, maybe we do get a Tech-9 rush and it actually works.
Be the craziest thing that we've seen in Counter-Strike, and Tech-9s really are, well, I think it's pretty much widely agreed upon that that gun is incredibly strong and may need a bit of a nerf. Would you agree with that statement?
Perhaps.
It's true terror in matchmaking, for sure.
What we have to do, I think we need to go in the other direction. I think, it's just buff everything, actually. Buff everything up until the level of Tech-9. There you go. Why do we have to nerf everything, man?
That's true. That's a good point. It has seemed to be the way that a lot of things have been approached. CZ, for example, was nerfed horrendously bad. It's pretty good, though, in the right-hand side of the field.
Oh, the CZ is fine.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine. It's actually just as fine as it was before. It's only now you can't quick swap. So, Oppers may favor another pistol over it. But CZ is still just as powerful, actually. That's the fun thing. It's just, the Tech-9 is now so strong that it overshadows the CZ.
One of the players that's actually taking part here, stepping in for Property, I believe, JW, was known for being an AWPer that absolutely relished that CZ.
Yeah, man. But you have certain players, they just make it look broken.
Yeah.
Right? Like Olaf Meister with the Tech-9, JW with the CZ, they just all happen to be on Fnatic. Oh, what? They line up for Maxi?
Unbelievable. Once again, it's that conga line approach that we've been talking about on Cash and now Inferno. And out of nowhere, Team Orbit are going to pick up another round. So 4-7 will be the scoreline. It's not a fantastic CT score, but a hell of a lot better than 7-0 was. And again, they're building up that bank. 8,000 onto Rogue. You got about 7,000 as well, Maxi. They're looking pretty healthy right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. Cloud9 are now reaching that point where, okay, we've given up 4 rounds. Now we can still be able to piece together buys. If they can get a plant in the next round, they'll be able to get a very healthy buy-in. So Orbit now, it's that grind. It's the same thing that happened on Cash, basically, keeping the mindset of just 1 round at a time. You have to do your nip impression at this point. They're still keeping them guessing a little bit here on B as well. Molotovs, aggressive smoke, Jumpy nearly walking into a bullet. That is way too close, Jumpy.
He does get tagged down to 45. Maybe lucky to survive with his life, and Shazam coming out on top there. In the AWP duel in mid, just through the smoke, very close, but that could prove to be the determining factor for Cloud9, looking for that all-important 8th round on T side. 1 minute to play with. Again, keeping Team Orbit guessing. This trade is going to make Cloud9 feel so much stronger. There's only one player on B watching it right now, 3 towards A, although one of them is Archers, so can quickly rotate. That's Jumpy. Roke's on B, surprise, surprise, he's always there.
He's pretty much their B player right now. I do like Jumpy's position, but he's also got that AWP. It's going to be a slow rotation, and there you go. They're actually rotating in a second man. So that's going to be the cover right there. Pyth making his way through CT now towards this B side. He's going to make it in time to cross. 30 seconds left, though. So Cloud9, they have to go now, but they're using Shaz. They're using Shazam as the entry. But look at this. You know, Rogue playing this perfectly. This is wasting so much time.
Realizing that he's outmanned right now, he's doing the smart thing, allowing the cavalry to come in. There's Jumpy with the AWP shot on the opposite side of the map, actually, towards mid on A. And now the 2-player lockdown from Team Orbit in effect, but Sean Gares and Shazam, they've only got 5 seconds to play with. Deja vu from Cash, but the bomb will be planted once again. 3 on 2, and Team Orbit looking to push him with Jumpy. He's going around from Garden. All at the back of the site, playing very defensive, playing smart. That's a nice flash, just to keep Jumpy into position for a few more seconds. The dots have not been connected as of yet from Shazam, but the time is ticking down so quickly. Shroud gets the double. And Cloud9 will be ahead regardless of what happens going through to the second half.
That is it right there. And now this is going to force Orbit to start tapping into that bank that they've developed over the last 4 rounds. But yeah, Cloud9, just solid entry frags. I mean, left it down to 30 seconds. Shazam, man, it wasn't even, you know, okay, like, we'll take Shazam and we're going to put him in first, but as soon as Pyth starts to make some noise, that's when they just speed up behind it and just get the 2 entries. This time around, however, it's not going to be Shazam, it's Maxi who's going to win the duel. So Shazam is out of the equation here, and Cloud9 are down a man already at the beginning of this round.
Start from Team Orbit, but they need to keep it up. Mistakes, they have let things slip now and again. That there's Huiten in mid. And the S and S combo that has been so prevalent today has gone down. It's all down to Sean Gares in the blink of an eye, actually. A 5 versus 1. Another very confident round from the Swedes. And a minute to play with. So he's got the AWP. He's going to try and get some frags here, but saving is going to be a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, that 1v5 scenario is really hard to deal with, right? I mean, these steps as well. He has no idea that Pyth is pushed through apartments, and that's very clean and easy work there for Pyth. But that's off the back of 1 pick early onto Shazam, and then of course then Cloud9 have to try and take a risk basically to get the info, try and return on that frag. 1 flash in mid leads to 2 frags there. Like, it just kind of spins out of control for Cloud9. After that Shazam kill, everything just kind of falls apart. Really, this should not be affecting Cloud9's mindset right now. They're still so far ahead in this map. They really shouldn't be worried about these kinds of rounds, and you can see that because they're forcing up now.
Spray coming through from Jumpy, very nearly gets 2 or 3 frags there. Unfortunate maybe not to get a better showing for his effort. Shroud from Banana, making sure no one gets around the back of them. And everybody from Team Orbit for a couple seconds was stacked on B. Now you can see the Pyth is moving back on A, just in case the re-rotation in this next minute comes to fruition. But again, Cloud9 are holding strong here. They're constantly keeping Orbit guessing. And you can see the Orbit, they're not too sure what to do. Their other player has just started to move back to CT, so they're really unsure of what's about to happen.
They're really keeping him guessing, but now they've got the guns to work with, and because of Jumpy getting a little ahead of himself there, they have a man advantage going into this as well, Cloud9. Huiten's going to take that peek, very quick shoulder peek, just trying to spot them out, and there you go. Very clean kill on the Shazam. That's what has to happen here for Orbit to hold. Huiten with the 2 kill, but now Roke lying in wait, and he's got the bomb in front of him.
It's the first one. He's just got the 1 more player to find and pick off. He does have Pyth coming around from the side as well from Banana. 25 seconds to play with. Nothing has the bomb, and he should be getting this down. He's gone looking towards Banana. That's the correct decision, but Pyth gets the upper hand. Huge round for Orbit. Definitely one they were looking to pick up. And they take it back to 6-8. They really need this as well, though.
That was actually, yeah, exactly. 15th round, still no reason really to criticize, but that was a little bit of a mechanical error there on Nothing's part. You could tell he was going for the fake plant. Wasn't quite letting it complete, and then just timing the way that it worked out there. So that's just unfortunate there. That was definitely a round that nothing could have clutched, but it goes Orbit's way instead. And now we do have a pretty fair shot at Orbit picking up a 7th round. So it's cash all over again, man. What is going on between these two teams?
So do we expect double overtime?
Double overtime? Let's we got to go one further, right?
Cool. Okay, let's go.
The thing is, if we do that, if we get into that territory, like this will be the series that never ends, and we still have Cobblestone to come up after this as well. And then I just expect them to go 8-7 on Cobble as well.
Very likely. Very, very likely if we do get that far. However, Cloud9 are going to be looking to put this game to bed as soon as possible. Pop flash through onto Halls. And it's actually not quite as effective as Pyth was hoping. They lined up for him, but it was a 1-for-1. Roke, in the meanwhile, has took down Sean Gares. And Shroud comes back to tip the scales back into balance once again. Equilibrium in place. Maxi's peering through the smoke. He can't see anything. Tries the shot onto Shroud, but the bomb has been planted. No, it's just about to get planted. There we go. There's still plenty of time now for the terrorists to try and fend this one off. Roke's going from quad. Other two players going to be pushing from library. Smoke is coming in right now, so they're able to somewhat smoke shield away. Pit, nothing, just laid in wait with the Tech-9, gets one. Looking for the second, he doesn't get the second kill, but Shroud does step up big for Cloud9. And now Maxi in a 1v2, no scope to the face of Shroud. He's going to go for this defuse. He's got a kit as well. And here comes Tempest to finish it off, 9-6.
So a 9-6 finish, and just a running battle in that last round as well. But look at how serious they are right now on Cloud9's side. I mean, they don't even look like, it's like, okay, guys, yeah, we did it, right? We came out ahead, and they just look so rock-solid focused at this point because they know they're behind. They know they needed a big performance like that to get them back into this series. So this is it. Now, Cloud9, they are not allowed to not make it out of the group phase. As far as they're concerned, that would just be like the utmost failure, and I'd even be concerned for like the integrity of the team at that point. So like if they don't make it through this best of 3, that would be such a big upset for them. So an enormous amount of pressure on Cloud9's shoulders right now, I think, in this match.
Yeah, and almost a point to prove to themselves as well, because as I said previously, with them getting knocked out in the group stages of both DreamHack Winter 2014 and IEM Katowice, they have a point to prove to themselves, to prove that they can get through the group stage. They can go on towards the finale. And they're a team that I would say a lot of people may not think would necessarily be favourites to take this tournament, but definitely towards the top 3 or 4 teams in here to go all the way.
Oh, absolutely. Cloud9? Yeah, without a doubt. I'd be massively concerned for Cloud9 if they were actually in Group A, for example, with like Property or something like that. I would say the Property could take them out. It just so happens that Property happened to be with, Group A, which is, at Nip Envy, so it's a little grim for them. They got into Group B. They have VP to contend with, but right now, Orbit are definitely putting up a very strong fight, and quite surprised to see, Cloud9 struggling this much. We shall see here how things develop into the second half as Orbit, and there it is, Semphis, man. 2 clicks, takes out Python Maxi both.
Just like that, easy peasy. That should give Cloud9 the utmost advantage to take this one home on CT side. Now, of course, roles have been reversed. Orbit going to be pushing through mid, looking for some picks, looking for Huyten with that Tech-9 again, taking a leaf out of Cloud9's book to make something happen. Through the smoke, he does just that onto nothing. There's still an uphill climb for them, though, to pull off. Shroud with all the information, calling for the rest of his teammates. It's an Archer's push, and now 3 very angry Swedes are going to be pushing on his location. May think about going to A, may have half a mind to maybe double back towards B, but it looks like A is the bomb site of choice. And Cloud9 lay in wait. They've got Shroud here on site. They've got Shazam in the pit, and Shazam opens up with a quick fire double. And they do seal the deal there with the third. Very nicely done by the NA team. And now Team Orbit need to go back to the drawing board.
Exactly. Team Orbit now. I mean, drawing board, I don't think that drawing board, it's like 1, 2, 3, 9. Right, there it is. That's as far as the drawing board goes, right? They just have enough paper to be able to do a circle and then have a little loop going down below it, because that's exactly what's going to happen. If they don't get the plant, it's silly at this point not to go for a Tech-9 Kevlar buy. So Team Orbit, they're not messing around. They're going to go straight for that. Couple flashes to work with as well, and this is definitely just going to be the straight train. This is like the Glock train on steroids.
Exactly what the case seems to be, and Pyth somehow gets the upper hand onto Sean Gares, who really was in position to strike with a vengeance and pick up a hatful of frags, but instead he goes down, bomb's been planted, and Team Orbit in a great position to fend this one off. They've got the UMP from the corpse of Sean Gares. Maxi opens up with the Tech-9. He's going to be able to actually keep himself alive as well. I thought he may get returned on. Jumpy is going to come good with that Molotov. And now it's on a 4-on-2. Make that a 4-on-1. Just nothing remains. And this is how you eco. This is how you go with that Tech-9 buy and make it work. Yes, nothing is getting frags, but he didn't have enough time to get on site and defuse. Huge round from the Swedes.
They got pinned down. They overcommitted at that point, Cloud9. By the time that they managed to get into construction, there was no backing out for them, as we saw. You know, Shroud gets picked off. That's it. The glory right there is the fact that they were not contested Banana, that they were given control of Banana fairly early on, so Orbit were able to just pile together at the entrance to B, and then it's just like 1 flash, 2 flash, go. And just spray and pray at that point, right? And the Tech-9 is just so powerful in these kinds of scenarios. So many bullets that Orbit just could not be stopped. But you know, that is a bit of an error, right? Cloud9, they cannot play scared. They have to get the info, and a bit of a peek there as well by the FAMAS holding Shazam. You know, Into Apartments trying to just get that kind of information right there, something that will actually allow them to make the proper call when it comes to defending the site.
And that's why Tech-9 is so deadly. Like, as you say, like the pain train just steamrolling ahead into B. And there could be a sense of saying, you know, Sean Gares was in a great position to silence that push. At the same time, though, when you have 3 players pushing with a Tech-9, it's much easier said than done.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, you know, apparently the example used is, you know, just use the FAMAS. The FAMAS, well, there you go. That's what happens, right? You know, it's like you've got 3 of them coming at you. They're all just spewing 1,000 bullets. Like, it's a very difficult situation to deal with holding up close like that. So, I mean, adjustments to be made. We'll see how things play out. So Cloud9 just go straight back into a buy themselves. They go for actually a combination. I like this. You know, 2 CZs, 2 5.7s. You have some good variety there. And Team Orbit are playing this down to a T. They're sticking together. It's more run and gun, just moving as a unit.
But nothing is that. Watching Speedway. He gets 1, gets 2. Great trade for him. CTs will be very happy with this one. And now Sean Gares is the man that steps up. He only gets the 1 frag. But again, they're trading very well, considering it was pretty much pistols against assault rifles. Pyth eviscerate Semphis. Beautiful double. I've seen that before from him on Cash in particular. And there is Shroud to answer back. It's a 1-on-1, but look at Rogue's health. He's got 3 HP. A gust of wind would take him down at this point. And Shroud is moving onto his position, gets the kill. And Cloud9, just with pretty much pistols, take the round. Unbelievable.
The round back. And that was just, I think Nothing is basically the king there. If Nothing doesn't get those 2 kills on Speedway, the defense, yes, okay, holding in the corner there in CT, that can be effective, but you're probably only going to get the 1-for-1 before you're overrun. And the same thing for the position on short on oranges, or rather not on short, but on oranges like that, the 1-for-1. I think the main thing there is just Nothing getting a 2-for-1 trade. Like, that was just huge play by him, playing behind that pillar, just dodging around with the 5.7. So Cloud9, and now they eke it out. But they, guess what? Guess what? It's another buy. It's just like ecos don't happen anymore, right? It's just like buy, keep buying, keep that pressure up. Orbit are just going to continuously throw punches at Cloud9.
And they will trade like 2 heavyweight boxes in the center of the ring, 2 for 2. So again, they had pistols. Now they've got themselves into a better position. Can potentially go up to Banana and pick up one of those weapons if they choose. But actually, it's Huyton who's in the app side of things. He's going to be looking to push through right now. Shroud is there. Going to be throwing up the grenade. That's not going to tag too heavily. Cloud9 have to dig in deep here for the next minute. Orbit, everything really rests on how they want to approach this round. They could go either way, but Shazam from Arches is going to get 1. Did he see the bomb drop? Maybe. And now he's going to get forced away from Arches as the smoke lands on top of him. Maxi going through Library. A game of cat and mouse between these 2 teams, and somehow it's Shazam that comes out on top, and he will not get the 2nd kill. I thought he did have it in the bag just for a few moments there. 35 seconds for Huyton to 1v2. He's got the bomb. That's the good news. But he's got very low HP, and Nothing is going to take him down once again. And Cloud9 move 5 rounds ahead of their Swedish counterparts.
And at the end there, I think, is the hesitation that played the biggest factor there, fear for Orbit, because they were together as a unit. That's, you know, I'm like, okay, they're going up short together, all 3, right? That's designed so that if one of them dies, the other gets the revenge frag, and they keep rolling. They keep the momentum up. So long as they're trading kills with the CT side, it will always favor them. But the fact that they lose that guy, and then they kind of just stand there and stop still, that's a big problem. Like, Shazam needed to die right there immediately at Arch for there to be a good shot for Orbit to get onto that site. They just took a series of duels and lost them all. So that's not going to be what gets you the round here versus Cloud9 right now. Cloud9 are starting to get fired up, and there it is. You know, the game of chicken, that brawl. Finally, one of them had to throw in the towel and say, okay, that's it. You know, pistols. I'll just go with Glocks. You know, and a couple Deagles, but you know, Glocks.
Deagles aren't really doing too much for them right now, as they're being pushed in. They do force away Archer's player from CT, but nothing is going to come back. He does get himself taken out. I would definitely have bet on him coming out ahead in that exchange. But still, Team Orbit are 2 players, make that 0 remaining. And Shroud with a quick fire double gives them the 13 points. So if things keep going this way, we are going to be seeing Cobblestone in the very near future.
Exactly. Actually, it's looking very likely. It's also looking like the curse will be broken for Cloud9. You know, they'll show that they can win on Inferno. Like, it is possible. So let's see. I mean, they're 3 rounds away, but Orbit are not out of this just yet. They've got a good buy here coming in with the AK. Shazam in mid. Takes that peek and does not connect.
That could potentially come back to haunt them there. He went for the second time. There was smoke down there on that occasion. But Orbit, once again, they're getting a lot of real estate here. They're constantly pushing into apps, and by and large, they're locking it down. The problem is, though, that after they get into apps, they don't really do anything with that. They just kind of... And that's one of the downfalls about... I'm not going to say downfall, but it's one of the negatives about playing T's on Inferno, is you do sometimes get just caught in apps. It's very difficult to break through after you've got that on your side.
Seems like it's going to be just a short push here. The one thing, this is all about just getting info and getting frags if they can. Forcing Cloud9 to use their gear as well, because Cloud9 are starting to run a little bit low on the nades. Just a single smoke on Sean Garris, for example. There's a great shot by Max. He takes Shazam. Shazam never knew what hit him there.
Yeah, just out of the shadows. Stepped Maxi. Semphis is going to somewhat balance it back on towards A with a frag from Arches, but you can see now that the Swedes are content. They are hungry to push up onto B. There's a smoke there that's stopping them just for now. There's the flashbang. 30 seconds on the timer. Orbit have to pretty much commit to this. They can't afford to go back to A. There's nowhere near enough time, but you can see around the backside. Here comes Jump. He is looking for a frag. Huiton gets the first one. There's Sean Gares from back boxes, though, to equate this push. He gets another one, but Huiton's there and takes him down with ease. It's a 2-on-2. The bomb is being planted, does get dropped down. There's nothing. I would have expected him to pick that frag up. Jumpy will get the upper hand, and now it's all on Shroud. He is a man that's been performing a lot better on Inferno than he did on Cash. But a 1v2 with the bomb down. They've got good crossfire. They've just flashbanged him to the face. And he's being tagged up left, right, and center. 48% left on his life. And time is ticking down. Huiton's playing this so well. He's just baiting out like a game of cat and mouse once again. And there we go. Finally, they lock down the round. Oh man, they're really playing with every second here this week.
Yeah, they are. What a round right there. I mean, exactly. Getting the plant with like 10 seconds left. Sean Gare is doing the best that he could, but it was an impossible situation for him to be in. I mean, as soon as he peaks, he gets caught. I think the big thing there is that Cloud9 do make the right call eventually. Semphis was a very smart play, rotating off of Arch so quickly over to B, only to get shot in the face immediately. Like the first entry onto that site, leaving Sean Gare alone. If Semphis could have stayed alive a little bit longer at the beginning, that could have been, you know, Team Orbit getting locked out of the map or locked out of that bomb site, just not getting a chance to plant at all. So just really close round there for Orbit, but they do manage to take it in the end. Nothing also with a little bit of a full YOLO like push through the smoke, just trying to catch them before they can get into after plant position. So really it's just a series of things where with a little bit of luck, it's Cloud9 who come out ahead in that round. But that time around, Lady Luck favored Orbit.
Maybe a bit of light at the end of the tunnel there for Team Orbit. Pulled it back to 8 rounds on the board. Cloud9 with a mixed bag once again of bias cut. 3 CZs actually.
Look at this bait and switch. This is Shroud just staying very quiet. His teammate had made noise running away, trying to bait Huiton in, but Huiton doesn't take it.
Smart play again, very disciplined team here. Team Orbit, Molotov lands. Semphis is going to be A-OK, and now it looks like with the flashbang, they're going to start to rotate back towards B again, playing with every single second. 35. Sean Gares is there by himself. You can see a very quick rotate, though, from the rest of the NA team through Speedway towards B itself. But Jumpy's going to get a kill with the Molotov. Pyth as well chimes in. Semphis is going to answer back. Bombs being planted, though, from Orbit. And they're in the player advantage only for a couple of moments, as nothing with that CZ will reign supreme on top of Huiton. However, Semphis is very low and nothing has just been dropped. This should be a 9th round on the board from Team Orbit. They don't want to lose any more players, otherwise the bank is going to be affected, and they do lose another player. There's Jumpy to seal it for the Swedes. but at quite a big cost, actually. 3 weapons were dropped in that process.
Far too close for comfort there, that's for sure. Losing 3 players like that, I mean, they're going to be able to buy around, like, they're going to be able to buy up, and at this point, they're like Orbit, they would love to have the bank, but they're really just like round after round after round. That's all we can think about right now. So them getting that round on the board is more important at this point. Like, they actually managed to keep it together. Cloud9 also doing just tremendous work with a force buy on their part, pretty much, you know, with CZs and whatnot. But still, solid work so far from both teams. In fact, now it comes down to this round right here. I think this is going to be the big difference maker. I think Cloud9 could have even, like, seeing as how they've had to force with 2 FAMASs and they're very limited on nades, wondering if they couldn't even have given an extra round. You know, another round here of a bit of a, like a CZ, you know, 5-7 buy, just to make sure that they had a full buy going into this one, like Shazam with an op and full nades for everybody with kits.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because they're still 13-9 up. Even if they were to lose the round, it'd be 13-10, then they're in a good position to buy up.
It's confidence, and that's telling you that Cloud9 are still not 100% sure on themselves.
Again, history, hopefully for the NA team, will not repeat itself, and they can close this one out and take it to Cobblestone. Sean Gares with a double, 1 molly, 2 M4 frags now. He goes down, but damage has surely been done. Huiten's all that remains. He's being encircled by CTs. He's somehow still alive. There we go, finally gets dropped through the smoke.
Nice read by Semphis at the end.
As you say, a huge round there, and Cloud9 coming out very, very comfortably in the end.
That's it. Sean Gares right there with the individual performance, really, just being able to catch them out. And then in the Molotov, Pyth desperately just trying to get through there. But then the rest of his teammates coming in one at a time, and Sean Gares really doing a fine job of controlling his aim. That boils down, sometimes rounds do boil down to just this guy kept his cool and landed all the shots, and there you go. It's as simple as that.
Great positional play, and that's going to force Team Orbit into 3 Tech-9s. They have full armor on everybody. Just a couple of grenades there, 1 smoke, 2 flashbangs, and Shazam's going to pick up the first kill. Demolishes through Orbit once again. There's Shroud. Team Orbit, they have a lot of time to think about this one, but they're 2 players down. This is not a good position for them. Flashbangs onto Archers. Will start to pull themselves back. Looking towards Archers now. Nothing realizes that danger is imminent and moves himself into a better position. There's no reason to risk it when you're 2 players to the good. And he's going to come back for seconds, but Pyth with that 5-7 unleashes. Nothing's going to get a double. Could very well make it a triple. There we go. And Cloud9 have themselves 6 map points.
That's it, exactly. 6 map points, and just, again, nothing. He just catches them lined up, and then he just calmly takes care of the rest. I mean, nothing with some, well, he's actually nearly dropping another 30 bomb. He got up to like 38, I think, on cash, and on this one, he's looking like another 2 frags here in this round. Nothing, drop another 30, okay. And we have a 3rd map to look forward to on Cobblestone as well. Show's not over. But this is going to be the straight run and gun here. Tech-9 all the way for Team Orbit, and Max, he's just going to catch Shazam off guard.
A pain train again that we saw previously. They have got 2 opening frags, and they do have themselves an AWP in the process of doing just that. The bomb is heading towards A, and it should be planted. There is going to be Semphis there to meet them in the middle. From Quad. Look at this, they're pretty much stuck on the site. They can't do a great deal about this one, but Rogue does rhyme out with the AWP once again in a position you wouldn't expect him to do so. They're lining up, though, for Cloud9, and nothing is going to oblige. Gets himself another 3 kills in that round, and he does drop the 30.
And that was a team kill as well there, unfortunately. That's going to sting. I think it was Huiten taking out Rogue, so a little bit of help going their way at the end. But there you have it. Cloud9, they keep their hopes alive. Their manager, Trey, smiling. I mean, that's got to be a big weight off their shoulders now going into this 3rd map, Cobblestone.